Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey, welcome to another episode of The Dorkening. We're going to be talking about sequels and reboots today and some DC stuff. With us today, we have James.
How's it going, everybody? Wish everybody, our Canadian brethren, a happy Canada Day.
Happy Canada Day.
Can we go to Canada?
Canada.
I want to go.
Yeah. A mug you got there, James. Very fitting.
In honor of our show tonight, one of our topics.
Nice. Sorry,
I just have velociraptors in my kitchen. Sorry. I got nothing else. I think the mug wins.
And Steven's joining us as well. Hey, Steven.
Hello, everyone.
Happy Wednesday. Just saying hi before I go back to work. Tom, don't go back to work. Oh, you can go.
I think we'll allow you to get paid.
So some awesome stuff. Your wonderful wife sent us a very cool story. Should we kick off with that?
Sure, we can kick off that. Yeah, so literally we were driving in the car to go pick up Logan, and all of a sudden Jen goes, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is getting rebooted by Seth Rogen. And I was like, oh, cool, put it in the chat. So she sends it to me directly, and I was like, no, the other chat, the chat for the show, so we can all read it.
Yeah.
I mean, who can be surprised by this? It's owned by Nickelodeon. It is still a prominent franchise. Still makes money. And it sounds like it's going to be CGI. And I mean, I was a fan of the TMNT movie from 2007. Like, I thought that was a pretty good movie. I like how it kind of didn't really wasn't like the Shredder. It wasn't Krang. It was like this new villain, this kind of story kind of building off of the show, but kind of going its own direction. So it was, really good storytelling. It was a good story how the Turtles fractured, and the voice acting. Chris Evans was in there, Sarah Michelle Gellar. There was very good voice acting in it. Also, like I said, you don't get Patrick Stewart as a bad guy that often. So it was him there was really good, and I'm kind of sad that never went anywhere. And I know that Nickelodeon has done 2 or 3 incarnations of the show since, but if Seth Rogen's behind it in his collaborating partner is behind it as well. I forget his name, but I know they did Preacher. That was a really well-received show, and some of the stuff these are really well-received. I'm very curious. I mean, I've said this in the show multiple times. I'm not opposed to reboots. I'm not opposed to remakes. I would like to see people take these characters and tell new and different stories with them and get their own interpretation of them. That's what I think is what kind of, you can restoke the fire in the imagination of some of these characters. So I'm excited. I'm kind of seeing where we're going. My one concern, it is Nickelodeon. You saw what they did before. I just hope they just either do all CG, like an animated movie, or if they do another live action one with the CG hybrid, let's work on the Turtles a little bit and kind of I know you're never going to be them from like the 1980s at the cartoon, but that was kind of ridiculous for the last 2 ones from Michael Bay.
I mean, it was Michael Bay, so I mean,
it wasn't terrible.
I did that. Sorry. Oh God. That was,
see, James, I'm opposed to the remakes and reboots thing because I've had a bad taste in my mouth with the Total Recall reboot years ago, and it's just not. When I hear TMNT get a reboot, I mean, okay, Seth Rogen's attached to it. All right, that's fine, but call me the nostalgia, whatever, but retro's in our name. But I like the old 90s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Throw some of that in there, you know.
Yeah, but you can still like what came out and find something good in like a remake. Like it's like Dawn of the Dead. Like exactly. Those are two different movies, but I like them both.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm not saying that I like every single reboot against. I don't like every reboot that comes out and use Total Recall. I thought Total Recall was a horrible movie, but again, when you initially saw it, you're like, okay, let's see where they're going to take it this time. So I'm always going to be optimistic about the premise of a reboot and a remake, and I'll come out flatly and say it was good. Again, I mean, answer the call to Ghostbusters, because I'll set it up like there. You know, I thought Paul Feig did a great take. It was a different story, different storytelling. Was it the movie that Sony wanted to be? No. Was it the movie that the fans wanted? Definitely not. But it was a pretty cool take on the characters. It was pretty interesting where he took it. And I was curious to see what happened. And yeah, and it was I liked it. I enjoyed it. It's not one of the movies I'll go watch every single day, but it's I like it. I enjoy it. Like I said, look at all the times Batman's been rebooted, and look at all the other times what other Spider-Man's been rebooted. And right there, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. You've had it rebooted 3 or 4 different times, and a lot of times it's not really Invasion of the Body Snatchers. It's something else.
Invasion and
yeah, I mean, the Faculty, that's considered Invasion of the Body. Like there's stuff like that you could use.
I'm still pissed about that one. God damn it, Usher was not in that goddamn movie.
But not it was long enough. Thank you. But Jon Stewart was in it. I always forget that he's in that movie. But like for me, and I'll use my example of a bad reboot that should never have been done was The Day the Earth Stood Still. Like when I announced that again, I was like, okay, like let's see what they do, because I knew the Day the Earth Stood Still, the movie, and there was a Keanu Reeves as like this emotional robot. I'm like Alien. I'm like, okay, cool. Like that's Keanu Reeves then, like emotionless. But again, when you start watching, you're just like, why? Like why? Like you had a story. Like just take it and just keep running with it. So again, is it going to be like it was from the animated films? And I felt very much that the sequel of the new 2 movies that came out was very much harkening back to the comics in the animated series. And I was like, okay, if this is the path they're going to go down with the movies, I'm on board. You're giving me Bebop and Rocksteady. You're going to give me Baxter Stockman, and he's going to turn into a fly. Let me see where that goes, because you could have had Rat King, you could have had all these other characters in there and just build this world, and it just kind of fell flat. So let's see what they do with it. It is definitely something that you can do. And Chris, yes, Ghostbusters 2016 was a bad reboot, but it still was a good movie with good, like Kate McKinnon was fantastic in that movie.
Okay, I enjoyed 2016.
I did too. I called you the day after I saw the premiere in Los Angeles. Freaking tired as hell. So, I flew to Los Angeles on my own dime to see it before anybody else because I was excited to see it. And again, do I wish there was a sequel? Yes, I do wish there was a sequel to that movie, because I feel like there's more story to tell with that, the girls. It will never happen because, God forbid, any fandom is not unbelievably toxic. So...
Yeah, that goes back into the whole just accepting it for what it is. Like, just because it has the same title, it doesn't necessarily mean like it tramples on the one version you like. They give things a chance.
Oh, you're muted, James. Oh.
Yep.
Are you sure about that?
I'm sure about what?
I'm making a joke. Like,
so I have to say I'm guilty of it as well. As you get some bad news or somebody's making a reboot about something that you loved as the kid, and instantly you think, oh my god, they're gonna kill my child. What's that?
My first thought is Michael Bay.
Yeah,
but I mean, anytime Michael Bay is attached to anything, I just.
Well, I mean, the good thing is the stuff that we still enjoyed as a kid is still out there. We can still consume it. We can still, watch it. But we should give more things a chance. There could be something good. What if they CGI'd the 97 turtle costumes, and use that as a model for the new reboot. I would think that would be cool.
I mean, I could see them doing it based more on the original comics. You know, a little bit more.
Well, not the original comics, because
It's still Nickelodeon.
well, yeah, the original comics were way too violent, and weren't the turtles evil? In
They were like vigilantes.
I wouldn't say evil, more like, yeah, not evil.
Okay,
More ambivalent about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, and you're never going to get that true what it used to be, and it's impossible to recapture that magic and that spark and that a lot of those stuff that happened in the 80s was unbelievably lightning in a bottle. Like every single one of those things had to hit at the right time to do it correctly. Like, you even watch the Toys That Made Us, that miniseries, you see how TMNT just hit the right chord at the right time with the right demographic. And again, you don't see that nowadays very much. You have the one-off stuff. And the one thing that I've been kind of resting my head is Gravity Falls. I feel like Gravity Falls very much got that lightning in a bottle because it was only 40 episodes. It was 2 seasons. It was a hit by Disney, and it came out of nowhere. It made its mark. It's moved on. And, if you go and try to make more Gravity Falls, I don't think it would be the same show as it was a couple of years ago.
William, I get news other than Reddit.
He gets updates from a different app saying that Reddit posted something on Reddit. That counts.
Yeah, news flows through Reddit. At least I don't. Actually, I'm not going to say it. I can say something rude, but I won't. James, turn your mic around. Is it the wrong way?
Better?
Talk again?
Better?
Oh, that's so much better.
Okay.
Listen to that sexy voice.
I don't know. I never know. There's no see, the one thing I wish on especially this mic in particular, because like the one that like Steve's using and you're using, you could tell where the directional part is.
Yeah.
And it's just sitting there like, where do I go with this? Like, because it just gives you like a diagram of what the sound looks like, and it doesn't tell you like
this is the front.
I don't know, because in my mind I would be like, oh, I want this so you can see the logo for marketing.
Yeah, you're supposed to see the logo so you remember what kind of mic you're using.
I'm so smart.
I know, that's like pretty much what I sound like, isn't it? It's amazing.
Yeah, it's like I'm a little puppet. I'm like, hi, I'm Uriel.
That's probably what they think of me at work.
MK Ultra says 80s was lightning in a bottle with a tiny spoon attached to the lid. Yeah, a lot of great stuff in the 80s.
So I'm excited. I want to see what they do. It doesn't really matter because when they've announced the voice cast, it's gonna get scrutinized. When they announce who's gonna play April, it's gonna get scrutinized. If Casey Jones is in it, it's gonna they're gonna be like, oh, the cell animation looks garbage. Why is it CGI? Why aren't we getting the original Turtles from the 80s? They could give us the exact voice cast from the 80s show, give us the live action April O'Neil from the movies, and give us, bring back the actor from the dead, the guy who played Splinter in the live action movie, and people still would be pissed.
Live action movie, not the cartoons.
Or the live action.
My first thought is James Avery. Yeah.
Keep in mind where a lot of people are scrambling for views, and a lot of people realize that, if you talk negative about something, you create some stir around it that, you're going to get some attention. So there's a lot of attention grabbers that are really going for the negativity. And then you get, the people that jump on the bandwagon as well. So, I mean, that's going to happen with everything, no matter what, which is sickening. So we just have to, just enjoy it as it comes along,
Unless Michael Bay is attached, then we can.
Yeah.
So I read an article last night actually, and more this morning, and I was going to throw it in the notes, but I kind of want to just get initial reaction from people instead of giving you guys a little heads up on it. So there's been a video floating around on YouTube, a guy who actually has a record of calling out the truth, what's going to happen in Hollywood. They were saying that, again, take it for what it's worth, that there's been rumblings inside Disney and LucasArts that they're going to legend the sequel trilogy.
Really?
And that in Clone Wars, there was an episode called The Veil of the Force, in which there was an episode where they could move through time and space and pop into any other parts during the history of Star Wars. And that when that episode came out, people thought that's what the premise was going to be for Rise of Skywalker. It was a very prominent episode, and they made a big deal about the episode. And so, because there's been rumors that Lucas, because he's doesn't control it, but he still is attached to it, was very upset about the sequel trilogy, and that him and Kathleen Kennedy have been at odds from each other about how they handled it in Disney because of the fan backlash and how when people talk about it, it's in a negative context, that there's been talks about them just quietly just pushing it off into Legends and kind of having the saga end at 6.
As it should have.
And then kind of building the universe from there with books, comics, and video games, and not kind of having that Skywalker saga continue.
Oh, so when you first said that, I got my hopes up that we could see one more Luke Skywalker movie.
So basically what James is saying, Disney's holding up the neuralizer and they say, "Can you look into this eye, please?"
Basically, because because they've already said that Daisy Ridley, everybody played in the they basically said, "We're done. Don't come back to ask us to do anything regarding this, like these movies again." Because they asked them, "Would you do a Disney Plus movie show? Would you do another movie, like especially for Poe or Finn?" And they were like, "Nope, we're done. After this, we're done with Star Wars." Again, money talks to weird people, but I think they all had a bad
I wonder
taste.
how much. Yeah, I wonder how much of that was just like the bad taste of like fan backlash and all that. Like, do you really want to be a part of something where like people just react so like shittily?
Well, exactly too. I mean, because they were saying that during the press junket for Rise, and then it just got worse from Rise of Skywalker, and you just hear more stories about how J.J. Abrams wanted to make the movie in a different movie than what it was, and then you read the inserts and the script parts from the Colin Trevorrow Skywalker movie, or the ninth movie, which sounded fucking fantastic. I would have paid money to see that movie. And they were saying like, one of the things that was floated around that would be mentioned like in a book or a comic or something was on the second Death Star, the room where Rey saw herself was actually like those veils of the Force. And so that's how Palpatine could manipulate the timeline or manipulate the Force to make the path go the way he wants to. And like this whole big like exposition, I'm like, first of all, that's a lot of detail for some guy on the internet just to kind of pluck out of nowhere and the detail to go into it. But they were saying like the dark Rey was like something that like they wanted to show as like, see, that room had all this stuff in it that could make us retcon all this. Yeah. So it was just kind of one of those interesting tidbits of information that I was like, wow, that's kind of interesting. And, I would not be surprised if they were like, yeah, we're just going to kind of tuck those away and we're not going to talk about 7, 8, 9, and we're going to keep our focus to the first 6. Yeah. Especially as the new ones, the prequels just got like love. They got all the love showered upon them. It was like, you weren't that bad. Like, we can somewhat watch you now. Like,
Jar Jar Binks is still.
Yeah, I know. You can watch. He's in way too many episodes of the Clone Wars. So
Anakin Skywalker. Yeah. But
no, I still blame the script for Anakin Skywalker. Hayden Christensen is actually a surprisingly good actor when he's actually with like a good director. Yes, I said good director because don't forget George Lucas did not direct Empire or Return.
Sure. Yeah, still left a bad taste in my mouth. I don't blame him as an actor, of course, because I know that you're handed like a raw deal with that one.
Yeah,
like when you give them nothing to work with, really, because they're like it had an end goal because it had to like make everything that happened in the previous 3 movies like a reality.
Sense.
So.
Yeah, but like I said, because of the success of Clone Wars and the success of Rebels and success of some of the novelization that happens after Mandalorian. But again, that's all stuff that doesn't really fall into the Skywalker saga or the Skywalker plot line.
It's amazing how good those things are, like Rogue One.
Mandalorian.
And they're going to be building upon that, and you're going to keep building those auxiliary character stories in those other parts of the universe.
Huh. I think didn't we say this before when Solo came out that we don't really care about what happened? Like we want new stories.
Yeah. Not Solo because we just want to do stories. Like no one asked how did Solo get his last name and like all that stuff. That was the whole mystery of who Han Solo was. Was he lying? Was he telling the truth? All that stuff.
But with Mandalorian, it takes place after 6, so wouldn't that fall under Legends?
No, I think the movies themselves. So I think everything because they said the books wouldn't be legend. So anything that happened in the books would still be its thing. But in regards to 7, 8, 9, the movies or what they're calling the Rey trilogy, will be legends and fall into the background with everything else. And if I'm them, and this is just me, I start bringing back some of those books, like Heir to the Empire. That trilogy is awesome, and it's set far enough in the future where because you've already introduced General Thrawn in Rebels, so you know he's a presence in this universe. You can build them up and have those 3 books and it would fit perfectly. Like I was telling Logan, looking for books to read this summer. I'm like, you need to read Heir of the Empire. You're going to read this book and get blown away by how good it is. And it's going to make you like love Star Wars again because it's such good storytelling.
Yeah.
And he's such a badass villain. Oh my God.
That trilogy was amazing. Trilogy.
Speaking of Mandalorian, I got my 10-inch Baby Yoda.
Did you get your Hasbro one that talks? And
no, I didn't order the animatronic one. But the 10-inch.
No, I don't. No, Leo. Like you had one thing to do.
What?
One.
What?
Get the animatronic Baby Yoda.
This thing scares my wife as it is.
That's why he had to get it. I love you, Megan, but that's why he had to get it.
She says the eyes, they're too creepy.
You're supposed to put the animatronic one around the house.
Hold on a second. Well, hold on. Your eyes or the Baby Yoda's eyes?
Probably both. Yeah. But I keep on telling her the eyes are adorable. But
Chris, and that's one of the reasons why advertise that comment. That is one of the reasons why Disney did not want to do take any of the stuff from the books. Rumor had it was because Chewbacca would died in a bunch of those books and in that storyline, and they knew how fan friendly Chewbacca was, and they didn't want him to not be part of whatever they're doing moving forward. So that is actually one of the reasons why they they made all those books a legend.
Fan friendly or toy friendly?
Little column A, little column B.
Because there's a lot of Chewy toys. I even got the what do you call it? The flocked Funko where it's furry.
And Halloween costumes, just a lot of money to be made off of them.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
No, trust me. I remember when I went to Disney. I met him he had one of he had the second longest line for a Star Wars meet and greet next to BB-8.
I was very emotional after building my lightsaber and all.
Shut up. Shut up. Nope. Stop it. Nope. I'm gonna stop it because no.
Can we just turn off his camera for a bit?
Yeah, I know, Steven. I know, because I'm going in September if they're still open, and that part isn't open yet. I can build the droid, because God forbid I want an R2 unit just beep, 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 I want fucking
Actually, if you have extra money.
No, I want to build it. I want to put it together. I want to pick my crystal.
Dude, no, I'm talking about there's an R2 Builders Guild where when you join, they give you the instructions on how to build an actual R2 unit. And they have not really building parties, but they will, like, certain parts are hard to find. So they'll go to a manufacturer to make the parts, and like they buy them in bulk for everybody.
At Star Wars, you can make a little droid like this big.
Oh, no, I'm talking when I first moved down to Florida, and I was going to do this, but then things changed. But I joined, and I was researching on how to build the full scale R2 unit.
No, you should build R4, the one that breaks down. No, and trust me. So my wife, when right now, when we go to Disney September, the if is now in quotation marks. It was the other way around for a while. They have the droid depot open to make droids, but the lightsaber aspect of it is not open. So we're hopeful that will be open sooner than later. So
I will tell you, you will get emotional like I did.
I know I want to cry like a little child when I make my lightsaber, but that might not happen because nothing might be open.
Yeah, at this point, I'm thinking I'm probably gonna have to wait until next year, which makes me sad.
I mean, I can't really complain. I can't complain. We're literally going to Disney for less than $2,000.
I've never been, so I can.
Yeah. So we got a 35% off credit on our resorts. So we actually upgraded to a better resort because of that, and we're still paying less than we did for our honeymoon.
Wow, nice. I still haven't been. So
wait, if that's your first time, wait till everything's reopened. Like, trust me, like we're literally going to say that we went as like a cool thing. Like we went to Disney World in the pandemic, we'll have our masks, and kind of one of those, like, it's going to be low capacity. So there's going to be like no waits. It's going to come somewhat empty. So it's going to be one of those weird times to go. And we figured like, we're really going to be cool to kind of be there for that. So
I can tell you the time when not to go to Disney World.
Christmas or New Year's.
Oh.
That's actually not a good time to go to Christmas.
I got you beat. Walt Disney's birthday.
Okay.
Well, that's the funny thing about it. Next year's the 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World, and they were supposed to have all this stuff done for the 50th for January, and half of it will be complete by that time. Huh?
No, I was just going to say last time I went, it was supposed to be fairly dead there, and we didn't realize that we went on his birthday. And
we went there, I think, the week before Mickey's birthday, Mickey's 40th birthday or something like that. I forget the 90th, whatever birthday it was. Yeah, we were there like a week or two before or after. It was actually pretty cool. So, but anyway, let's digress. But what else we got going on there, sir?
Well, there is some other reboots and sequel news. Not really actually, yeah, a reboot. This is not a reboot, a sequel. Jurassic World Dominion.
Someone's coming back.
All three are coming back. Sam.
Is it going to be for like a couple minutes?
No. Okay, so Sam Neill, Jeff Goldblum, and Laura Dern are reprising their roles. And according to the news, they'll be there for most of the movie.
Singing in the background.
In the background, yeah, they're going to be what's that singer with?
There's going to be pictures of them in the background. So
I will tell you, I counted how long Jeff Goldblum was in Jurassic World.
Was it like 3 minutes?
No, it was like a minute and a half. That's how long he was in there for. So, and
he probably got paid $2 million.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the fact that he was promoting this movie, saying it's going to be
Mark Hamill promoted Force Awakens, and he was in it for 2 minutes and didn't say a line.
Yeah, he made it sound like he was going to be in this movie a long time. So the fact that these three,
they were paying him to. So I mean,
yeah, the fact
that
he
paid me to say I was in a movie for a while, I'd say it.
Well, they're saying this is going to bookend the series.
I heard that there's the way this movie ends is that you can still build sequels off of it.
Well, I could imagine that, but this probably bookends their characters. So maybe
they're all gonna
how
die.
about you just stop?
Also, another Jurassic Park original character is coming back too.
the T-Rex.
Dodson.
We got Dodson. Yeah. We got Dodson. See, no one cares, Steve. No one cares.
Apparently his toy sold out fast.
Yeah.
Well, in the book, he actually has a big, like, I've read the book a couple times. Like, the Dodson character is actually like a bigger character in the book.
But there was an article saying that he was coming back in this. So,
well, I bet it's going to be because now they're going to be like, well, how can we connect this back to the original Jurassic Park? And I'm like, you can't because you stop. Because The Lost World was written after Jurassic Park was a movie.
But money. That's going to be the response.
I saw a meme today from like Austin Powers, and it was like Jurassic Park's like, why won't you just die? Like, the park is gone. Wasn't it the whole point of the second movie? Like, no, there's no but. It's Jurassic Park. That is the premise. I get they're like, well, it's all about generic engineering, dinosaurs.
It's now called Jurassic World. They've gotten rid of the park.
It's going to end up like Rampage, and they're going to be in the middle of a city. And
oh god,
it's money. Yeah, like, so I mean, like I said, I did watch the 7-minute video or short movie they had like on FX or something like that. Like taking place leading up to Dominion and stuff like that. I still have not seen Fallen Kingdom. I have no desire to see Fallen Kingdom because I even said to my friends, I saw Jurassic World and I was like, all right, cool. Like that's a pretty cool like one-off. I thought it was gonna be a one-off movie just because the park actually opened and it was actually up and running for as long as it can. And I was like, okay, another like, just leave it alone. The island will be left alone because, whatever. And then they're like, now they're taking them off the island. And it's
the way they do that. Oh my God. It's so painful to watch. I haven't been back to watch it, but
I know the Bronchosaurus scene was like the saddest scene in the movie.
Oh yeah, I know. It's like, I had to dock cry. I know it's CGI, but I cried. I'm so sorry, but it's at the dock and it's the planet's yeah, it's crying. Oh my God, it's so sad. Oh, I can't watch movies like that.
So I mean, like, it's gonna make $1 billion because who knows what anything's gonna make now.
Yeah,
because the box office is such. This is what we call a segue, because we never know what's because theaters being closed and production companies still shut down and everything keeps getting pushing back. It's coming to a point now with some of these movies like Tenet keeps getting pushed back and Mulan's getting pushed back. I'm like, guys, just release them on VOD. Yeah. Just make your money the best you can. Put them out in the friggin' drive-ins because that's a business now. Like, just do it that way. Like, make whatever money you can right now off these movies. And I understand, like, Tenet, Chris Nolan's going to hold out as long as he can because you want to see it on the 60 frames per second IMAX triple X large screen dome TV. I get it, but like Mulan
would have to be amazing, and
like give me Mulan on Disney Plus, give me Bill and Ted on VOD. Like I will pay, or Leo will pay for these movies. But like I get it. It's just AMC, it's going to be a completely different animal when these movies open. And now they're saying some of these movies, California just announced today that there is no timeline when theaters are going to open in California. New York is not opening any of their movie theaters. Texas and Florida are talking about closing their movie theaters. So there are 5 major states that have movie theaters that aren't opening anytime soon. So what again, if Wonder Woman gets pushed to next year, I'm okay with that because I think that I want to see that movie on the big screen. Mulan, I want to see because it looks really, really good. But again, I can watch it on my 50-inch 4K television with my surround sound, and I'll get almost as much like enjoyment out of watching on my couch without a mask instead of me going to an AMC theater with a mask.
Yeah, but you can't spill popcorn on the floor in your house without having to clean it.
Have you seen the controversty AMC has alady gone through?
AMC is dumb because they're complaining about having no money and declaring bankruptcy, to then being like, we're not going to be political and we're not going to make people wear masks. I'm like, you can't have both. Like, if you don't want people to wear masks, just say we're not wearing masks. Like, that's our policy. But then don't say, like,
that brings up the whole people making masks political. Like, God damn, people are stupid.
But the thing is, if they just made a list of their rules, but the problem is when you comment on it, I don't want to make this political. You're going to make it political.
But like the world has already made the whole mask shit like a political thing because people are just
but the thing
so goddamn stupid.
They are, and it's absolutely friggin' ridiculous because they've been, we don't want to talk politics, but obviously it's come to the point where there is now a wrong side and a right side, and it's people need to look at their news sources and figure out that if they're on the wrong side, they need to.
Well, no, I don't care about like politics. Is just stupid. It's just
they are, but the people that are making this political are killing a lot of people.
God, I just hate the world sometimes.
Yeah,
I hate it.
I agree.
People are so stupid.
Yeah,
but I'm all set with, if the movies theaters don't open this year, I would not be heartbroken.
Neither would I.
Yeah. I think exactly, like I said, it's one of those things where, especially in New York, and I'm very glad that all of us live in the 4 states that actually got their shit together.
Yeah,
right now, and it's good. Like, but like I said, if they said next month that the movie theaters are going to be open and this is the lineup of movies that are going to be out, I'd be like, okay. And I would talk to Jen and be like, which ones do you want to go see? Because we're only going to go see 1 or 2 movies. Because, like I said, I have a comfortable mask. I have different masks for different comfort on my ears and behind my neck and for the beard and stuff in my glasses. I get it. But like, it's literally the movies that I would see is Wonder Woman, Bill and Ted. And then the problem is I don't know what else is coming out because there's been no trailers for any movies coming out later this year because Hollywood's been on hiatus.
Yeah.
So the next movie on my docket list of things to see is going to be Ghostbusters in March. Like, that's it. So, and if all that stuff gets kicked to next year, I'm good because I have plenty of stuff to watch right now on Hulu, Netflix, Plex, Disney Plus, and whatever live television, sports are starting up soon anyway, like that. But like, I'm going to be watching Hamilton on Friday when it comes out because I haven't seen it and I'm looking forward to seeing it on Disney Plus. So
yeah,
again, I wish that was in the theaters because I think that'd be really, really cool to see on the big screen. And who knows, Disney might release it in the big screen just to get the Oscar nomination for it. But we'll see.
I wonder if this is going to make people rethink the whole requirement that has to get a theatrical release. Because what are award shows going to look like this year? Like,
well, the Oscars got pushed back by like a couple of months. So
they really need, it seems like such a old way of thinking, and it kind of just proves that it is.
Well, don't forget, it was Netflix bought the Egyptian Theater.
Yeah.
In Los Angeles, so they could show their movies on a big screen, so they can get Oscar nominations.
They just
but again, it's such an old way of thinking that this kind of just proves the point that they should probably rethink this. Because what if some shit like this happens? You have some great things being released on streaming services, and none of those can be considered for awards because they didn't get released on a big screen, which nothing can be released right now on the big screen. So
I mean, you can say about it being over, all that stuff, but you can do the same thing about, women directors, minority actors, actresses, directors, filmographers. Like the Oscars as an entity itself, the Academy Award, the Academy, the Academy needs an unbelievably large wake up call on how they handle everything. Like, are you telling me, again, I'll go back to Oscars, you were telling me that there was not one actor, actress, supporting actor, or supporting actress of a minority that wasn't good enough to have a nomination, but Scarlett Johansson can have 2 of them.
Yeah, they just need to scrap the Oscars anyway. Just
are you kidding me? Like, did you watch some of the movies that came out last year? You know, including movies like last year, like Jordan Peele was up for Us. Like that was in the Oscar window. Like, are you telling me he couldn't have gotten, you know, a nomination for that movie? Because that movie was heralded for a couple months being a game changer in Hollywood. It was because it was a horror film that those movies don't get consideration anymore.
And
like,
Midsummer got robbed too, and it didn't even get a nomination.
Like, and it's just one of those things. Like, I think, you know, this could be a good thing, this could be a bad thing, but you know, them not having movies to stream on a thing is, I think, peanuts to what the Oscars and the Academy as a whole needs to be.
True.
Because you have
something has to give them that wake up call. Like, it seems stupid, but maybe this should have, but it probably won't because people are stupid.
Well, it's funny because they're like, oh, we'll put more younger people. No, because anybody who's been nominated for an Oscar or is part of the guilds can vote in their respective categories. Like Kevin Smith votes in for Best Director because he's in the Directors Guild, so he gets a vote. So he gets all these movies sent to him for his consideration. So, you know, that's great. And they're like, well, we're going to phase out a lot of the older people. Yeah, phase out fucking everybody and then bring everybody back in. Like, it's a clean break. This is how we're doing it now. If you haven't been relevant in the last 10 years, you don't get a vote. I'm sorry. If you haven't produced something, directed something, written something, starred in, or composed anything in the last 10 years, you do not get a vote. If you were nominated or won an award, you can kind of your involvement stays longer. But you want fresh ideas, you want fresh voices in the Academy, you got to let new artists and new directors and new actors in and let them vote for their peers instead of having the old Hollywood look over thing. Because God forbid if fucking La La Land won as much shit it was nominated for, you know, you would have had a fucking revolt in Hollywood because Hollywood loves nominating movies about themselves. So I'm sorry.
Well, I'm going to break here. I'm going to break here for a second. And just a quick reminder that every single show is brought to you by Deadly Grounds Coffee. Now more than ever, we need to support local businesses. And, Deadly Grounds, they're local for me right here in Connecticut, Norwalk, Connecticut. And if you're in the New England area, or actually, they go over to conventions, all over the U.S., all the way to like Texas. I think they even do California. Everywhere they, if there's like a horror convention, that's where they're at. But we don't have conventions now. So, if you love coffee, you love great tasting coffee, because I swear it's the best coffee you'll ever have. Death by Chocolate. Oh my God. Pumpkin, Witch's Brew. If you don't like flavored coffee, they have regular flavors as well. But easily the best coffee you'll ever have. Here's Father Evil talking about coffee.
Rise and shine, my sinners. When Father Evil starts his day, he gets a little deadly. Deadly Grounds coffee has the richest, smoothest flavor you'll find anywhere. It's sinfully delicious. Once you go deadly, you never go back. Order yours at getdeadly.com. Coffee's so good, it's scary.
So link is in the description there, and you were going to say, James?
No, I'm. Thank you for letting me vent. I'm sorry. I just think it's
okay.
bullshit.
Venting is important.
It's just, I can't.
They need to.
I'm with you on it. I understand. No need to explain. Just.
Well, in good movie news, I'm going to say this wrong. Shang-Chi.
No, that's not. No, that's not good movie, because that character should have been introduced already. It was the true Mandarin in Iron Man 3. But continue.
Okay. Well, Shang-Chi and Batman are heading back to production this month.
I don't think that's gonna. I think they're gonna shut down production again.
No, they're doing it overseas.
Yeah, the England's rates are going up again.
I think Czech.
I think we should just pause a lot of this stuff for a year. I know it's economically not like fun for people, but how much money do you really need? Like, you can just put a pause on things. You have enough money or enough resources that you can, find another way to make money to pay your staff and stuff like that.
There's nothing, like I said, I heard one of the best thing, because I brought up the 1918 pandemic, 1919 pandemic. And there was a reason they called it the Roaring 20s.
Hey, just real quick. Sorry, I just saw your message, Steven. Yeah, it's okay. You can. He has an important call he needs to take, so he's gonna hop out.
All right.
Yeah. Later, Steve.
Sorry,
Later, Steve.
No problem. Oh, no.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, Steve. Wow, that's. There we go.
So I was gonna recenter myself. I like that. I just need to recenter.
It made me feel thin.
There you go.
Well, the microphone looks like it's one of those like filters on like Snapchat right now. Like, it doesn't like. No, I mean, I'm with Yo-Yo. I mean, there's no problem for, like I was saying, the 1919 pandemic shut everything down. It brought the country, the world to a halt. The Roaring 20s was called the Roaring 20s because it was after World War I. It was after the pandemic. The economy recovered unbelievably so well that 1929 came around and stock market crash. But it was called the Roaring 20s for a reason. So, there's nothing wrong about putting the pause, putting your foot on the brake, let everything blow over. And, you still have these movies in production. You still have movies that are in post-production that are still going to come out, and you have so many ways to distribute this movie now that you don't, the theater concept is so archaic, it's not even worth it anymore. So, yes, The Batman looks fantastic, and I hope it's in production. But there's no way that movie's coming out in 2021. There's no way that movie's coming out in 2021.
Okay. Like, unless they do some horrible things to it.
And that's your concern is, what are they going to do? Like I said, if I get one Batman movie next year and it's Zack Snyder's Justice League and it's somewhat decent, I'll be good. But, we'll see.
Well, I think we'll get Justice or
Well, Justice League is being done all remote anyway. Like,
the Snyder cut.
Like Jason Reitman said in an interview for Ghostbusters during the Reunited Apart thing they did for Ghostbusters, is everybody's working on it remotely because the technology is there now that you can edit the movie at home. You have your post-production visual art people doing it at home and submitting it to their counterparts. Like, it's a better interconnected world that these movies can still move forward if you're in post-production. So
I wonder what, because thinking about the equipment that a studio would have, like, do people really have that just sitting around their house though? Like, are the studio giving them equipment?
I was thinking about that too. I mean, they probably just provided them Mac Pros.
I mean, it could be it could be that they just literally took the equipment from the office home, or some of these production companies might be like, this is our new model now moving forward is people are going to work from home, so we're going to invest in our work staff. I can say for just personal experience, when I worked at another insurance company before I got my new job, everybody was still on PCs, and I brought up the question, like, what if the office is closed? Like, well, the office never closes. Well, what if it does? How do I work? Like, how do I do my job?
Yeah.
They never thought to be like, we should just invest in laptops and they can bring the work home with them. Like, I had to bring that up to them, being like, guys, like, what if we can't get in the office to do our job? And they're like, well,
that's impossible.
Yeah.
So what did they do in meetings and stuff?
And that's what I mean. Like, so the managers had laptops, but like me, who handled the face-to-face customer interaction, would have to log in from my own personal computer into a remote server that who knows would work, or they could just give me the actual hard drive. But like, it was one of those things, like, explaining is like, well, they don't want to invest in the laptops. You call IBM or Dell, like, I have a corporate account, they're going to give you the laptops at pennies on the dollar because you're buying so many of them. Like, you just have to make that phone call. And I remember like 3 months later, like everybody's getting laptops, and I was like whatever. But I think you are going to see a dip in quality. You might see a dip in quality, but again, the studios have built-in production. Be like, we'll just wait in 6 months. Like,
well, I mean, for the equipment, Mac Pros, those can go up to what, like $35,000 or more. Yo-yo.
Yeah.
For all the upgrades. And I mean, that's probably what they're editing in.
I believe.
What's that?
60 is the top.
Yeah, that's like unbelievable. That doesn't include a monitor, mouse, or keyboard.
And that's it. Like, those are the things. Like, a monitor to master something is like a $30,000 monitor, the low end.
Yeah.
So, are you
again, it's one of those
with a $30,000 monitor, or are they using something that's lower quality? Like, how is that going to like change things?
Well, you
don't have everybody use the same like quality monitor when they send it off to the next person. Like,
yeah.
It could be one of those things where you literally have the base guy who's just doing those, like, probably depending on what you're doing exactly, depends the type of equipment you get. Like, I'm almost positive.
But everybody's going to be able to see things the same way, though. That's
true. But again, if you're talking about LucasArts or Industrial Light and Magic, yeah, you're getting top of the line everything. Like, or they're just literally taking the equipment that they have in the office home with them. So if you have an HD monitor at your desk, you're taking that home with you, or you're connecting to your. Or
I'd make them sign waivers if they're going to take a like $30,000+ monitor home. I've seen how people treat things.
Well, some people do that, or some people, it might be cheaper for them to buy a Ultra HD television. But
it'd be the same.
But again, you have to think,
even if you go with like the Sony one, which is like based after like the mastering monitors, like the quality is still nowhere near, because those are like super high quality OLEDs, and even like there's nothing commercially available like that. Like even the what you call them, like the XDR display, like that high end Apple display, it's nowhere near the quality. If you've used one of those displays, like those are the things that run through my head. I'm weird.
I know that's but the problem is, like I said, you're right. But again, your team might go from 30 people to 15 people. Like, so you're doing the work of 2 men or women, than what you're normally used to. Because of that, they might only have. You're right. Maybe they only have $10,000-$30,000 monitors.
That's like $500,000 there in monitors.
But again, if you're Industrial Light and Magic, that's a drop in the bucket for you. Because how much is a studio paying you to do that work?
And also, not everybody's working on the final product where it needs to be like, accurate colors. A lot of the colorization is done, after the fact. You still have like 3D modelers and renderers, so.
Yeah, because technically, like I said,
I just think about like how hard you make everybody else's job if you don't you can't see everybody the same vision. Those are the things I think about.
But a lot of times those people work in an office with their door closed and their headphones on regardless, and they don't get feedback until it gets sent up anyway. Mm-hmm. Look at 3D animators. Like, you have, you don't think the guys at Pixar are doing the same things right now with some of the movies coming out? Like, they're not in the theaters. They're not in the office. They're working remotely and sending their stuff to somebody to double check.
They're actually saying we're going to see a boom in animated films coming forward, because
it's cheap and expensive and you can do everything remote.
Yeah. I feel like Maya's easier to run than some of the other things. So the mastering process is where, if you just have one person master it, I guess it saves you money, but it's just that makes that person's job so much harder when no one else does things correctly.
Well, that's why you hopefully have the best of the best on your team, and those are the people that you didn't lay off.
Mm.
Like, I'm not for 1 second that every single production company did not lay hundreds of people off. Like,
unfortunately, everybody's laid hundreds of ugh.
But that's what I mean. Like, I'm not saying production companies are the end all be all for non-laying people off. Is Hollywood has projects, but when Hollywood was like, we're done for a while, you don't think Light and Industrial, LM was just like, oh well, everybody can just stay on at salary. We're just going to twiddle our thumbs. Like, no, they're like, you're going home. home. You're going home. Yeah. You stay. You're cool. You suck. Like, No.
Well, some people that may be going home soon.
Yeah.
Maybe the DC Universe folks.
Doom Patrol is so good. So fucking good. Oh my God.
I started watching Doom Patrol. I enjoy it.
Did you watch? Have you started watching the second season, or you watched it? Okay,
I'm watching.
I've started watching this second season. So I watched the first 3 episodes. Yep. It is so fucking good. Like, so I'm sorry. I just enjoy it.
No. It's so that is over on HBO Max now. Harley Quinn is moving to HBO Max. I mean, are they doing Titans? Will Titans move to HBO Max?
I think everything will move
slowly but surely.
Well,
it'll just be a place for comics, and then it won't exist.
Yeah, it will. I love it. So one thing somebody noticed today was they went to renew their membership, and the yearly subscription option has been removed.
It's only the plus side, they're not willing to take your money like for no reason.
I wouldn't be surprised when Doom Patrol's done and Stargirl is done.
Stargirl is over on CW anyway. So.
But their whole thing is it's also they're dropping the episodes the same day or day before on DC Universe. When those 2 shows are done with their episodes, I wouldn't be surprised if HBO makes that announcement, being like DC Universe is going to get absorbed by HBO Max, and you can follow all these shows over here now. It's just I think they're just waiting for the shows to end their run.
So what if you've already paid for like a year before they got rid of it? Like, are you going to get a year of HBO?
I wouldn't be surprised if you got HBO Max. They just turn the membership over to an HBO Max
for a year, like or something like that. Like it makes sense.
Or until your subscription ends, or whatever.
Yeah, like for the rest of that period. Yeah. That would make sense. I feel like people wouldn't be too mad at that unless they're like Leo and like also read the comics in there.
Yeah. Well, I mean the comics I get elsewhere anyway, so.
Like so even Leo comic provider.
It wouldn't be that.
So yeah, it's only been amount of time anyway, so.
I mean, you got to think that was the first comic book streaming service that came out, like, and it was decent. What was the first?
Marvel.
Yeah,
Marvel's been out for a while.
Like Marvel with their shows and movies and comics. No, but that's what I mean. Like these, that was the first 2.
Yeah.
I mean, and to have original programming, like, they took a big gamble on it, and in hindsight being what it was, and history is you can't tell what something's going to be till 2, 5, 10 years after the fact. I think Warner Bros. Are going to look back at DC Universe, if this is the end of it, being like, it was a gamble and it worked. Like Swamp Thing was a huge success. They got awesome reviews on that. Doom Patrol, Titans, all these shows that came out got rave reviews, and it was just a place where they just took some risks. And I think at the end of the day, Warner Brothers are going to look back at it and be like, it was worth it, and we got flack for it up front, but at the, look what happened to it. So, yeah. I mean, it's sad to see it go. I think it was really cool.
Will that mean that they'll bring Swamp Thing back? Like, so since I have that,
I thought someone bought the rights to Swamp Thing. I think they were going to make it on the CW or some show.
No, CW. I want them to bring Swamp Thing back since they have the HBO money.
It was always HBO money. It was always Warner Brothers money.
Yeah, but I mean, you usually keep that as separate pockets.
No, I want to see. I
want to deal with Game of Thrones budgets. Come on.
By the way, it was the CW that has acquired Swamp Thing.
Oh, it's going to become a teen drama. What the hell?
Dawson's Creek is a monster.
Oh, Swamp Thing. I'm so upset with my parents. What will I do? Let's run off together, Swamp Thing.
Why?
I mean, I'm not worried about it. I think, like I said, this is, if you want golden.
Swamp Thing's gonna glisten.
No, man. Like, you just don't. You don't get me, Swamp Thing. Kill. No, you don't need to kill anything. It's just let's just talk. Snap. No, I mean, I don't know. I'm curious. Like I said, they laid the foundation for some good shows, and let's see what happens. Let's see what happens now that they're going to be a different platform. I think Harley Quinn is a great example of kind of just taking an idea and letting it go. And Doom Patrol again, was one of those shows that is just like, what the hell am I watching? How far are you into it, Leo?
I think the 4th episode.
Alan Tudyk is the best character on that.
Oh,
show.
Alan Tudyk is awesome. They just destroyed the Nazis.
With the puppets, the mirror.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Between that and Brendan Fraser is just fantastic.
Oh, and the donkey's ass. What the hell?
Oh yeah. Oh, dude, it gets way crazier the farther you go into the season. There's a whole episode where they go into the underground and you meet all Jane's personalities. Like that's a whole episode. Like you meet about Danny, a sentient street. That's a whole episode. It gets good. It gets really good. But again,
that's such a good risk that they made with that one, because it panned out really good, because it gives them a chance to like bring out some of those obscure characters that you would never think to fit in a movie. And like some of those characters are fucking amazing.
It also helps with the cyborg problem because they don't have no idea what the hell to do with that character.
Yeah. Well, not only the characters, but the actors as well. Brendan Fraser, to bring him back, that's awesome.
Well, that's not him in the suit. You know that, right?
Oh, I know.
Okay.
He still gets paid no matter what. It's all right.
But
he can literally do that from his house.
Michael Bomber.
Yeah, for the negative man. Leo, there's some episodes you're going to watch that will just they're such downer episodes. Like you've already run into some of them. You're just like, oh my God, this is just depressing. And there are episodes like that because you learn about all these people and you learn their backstory and they're like the whole story about Cliff, and that story gets built upon over and over again. So it gets good. Like you'll enjoy it. So like I said, the new episode 4 comes out tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to watching that in the morning. So,
and obviously you watched Harley Quinn.
I haven't, but I know the ending of season 2.
I don't care about the ending. The show is just so.
Oh, really? You don't care about the ending? What about Clone Wars? Did you watch all of Clone Wars yet, or did you just watch the ending?
I just watched the ending because the show. The show is so awesome. It's so funny.
Yeah, I know it's funny. Like I watched some of the clips, and I like the voice actors that are in there.
Yeah.
Again, I have a 9-month-old, 10-month-old that I literally have like 3 hours of like personal time to do like limited stuff.
Yeah.
So,
well, they're short episodes.
Yeah, because I can watch that show with my child just hanging out with me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's you don't want to see like
No, I'm all set.
There is so much death and destruction in that cartoon.
I know.
And it only gets worse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they announced season 3 of Harley Quinn, so.
Yeah, there was a whole thing online, people freaking out. Sign this petition to renew for Harley Quinn season 3.
Already been renewed.
And it really wasn't a season 2 anyway. It was just they made it a long season 1. They cut into two parts.
Yeah.
Because it's one long arc. So.
Oh yeah, it's one giant. Yeah, you have 2 mini arcs in there. You have one her trying to become back of the Legion of Doom, and then the other one is her maintaining that status as being the villain.
Yeah.
So.
Well, if you get a chance, watch it.
One thing we forgot to talk about tonight is in the reboot section of our conversation.
Yes.
Was one of the creepiest motherfucking shows I watched growing up.
Oh. Beavis and Butthead?
No, Unsolved Mysteries. Oh my God. I could care less about Beavis and Butthead. I wanted to talk about Unsolved Mysteries.
I'm going to watch that tonight.
I watched the first episode before we started.
Yeah.
Why the hell is it in Dolby App, like Vision?
I don't know.
Like, is it just because like that's the only cameras Netflix has now? Like, it doesn't need to be. That's all. I mean, the episode was good.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
so
I'm looking.
I'm just confused on like.
Are
I feel like that's expensive for no reason.
Here's my question: are they continuing the mysteries from the original show that are still not solved?
Nope.
It's all new things.
The first one I saw and the second one I started watching was on now.
Okay.
Like, more recent.
Wow. Okay. And who's the narrator?
There was no narrator.
What?
Like the family and friends and like people involved in the case narrated it.
Really?
Yeah, it's more like a documentary style. I personally didn't liked it.
Okay.
Again, except on the confusion on why the hell they bothered. I mean, it looked beautiful on my OLED, but why?
Well, I'm gonna watch episode 1 tonight, maybe 2. Maybe I'll just fall asleep during it.
He's gonna have some weird dreams.
Oh, I do. I fall asleep watching Ancient Aliens, and oh my god, the night.
Just that guy.
Aliens. Oh, Jen tried to get me to watch Ancient Aliens, and I was like, I cannot watch this. I'm too smart for this. Like,
well, there's some stuff that's really questionable. That
some.
What?
Some of it's questionable.
The rest of it's
no. I mean, some that is questionable. That like, how was it done? Some of the boulders. How did they move them that big? And the straight lines that were cut, and there's one place in South America where it looks like they pre-made building blocks, and it's
could it
were pre-cut into it?
Could it legitimately just be that different civilization advanced at different rates than everybody else, and they figured out how to do stuff on their own?
I don't know. I think we don't give enough. I think we don't give people who lived before us enough credit sometimes.
Well, it's the same thing as we give someone 200 years ago our phone. They're they're gonna look at it being like, what the hell is this? And they're gonna think it's witchcraft. But you give it to them, you leave it with someone who's intelligent enough to use it or to figure it out. Yeah, probably in a day or two they're gonna figure out how to use this thing and understand how
to get them out of their hand.
Exactly. Yeah, but talking about where I know a lot of it's a lot of craziness, but some of it is
open-ended. They're like, could it be this? Well, let's see. Who knows what could have happened? But according to this person, no. If you're not telling me this is what happened, and it pisses me off more because it's on the fucking History Channel.
Have you seen the History Channel recently in the friggin' Bigfoot shows?
No, I gave up on all channels like that, like the Learning Network. What the fuck does Honey Boo Boo have to do with fucking learning anything? What the fuck does My 600-Pound Life have to do with learning anything?
Don't do anything like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm looking forward to it. That's one of the things on my list that I want to. I'm in the middle of reading a decent book right now. So
nice.
Also, we didn't talk about it. Beavis and Butthead is coming.
No, we talked about it.
We talked about it. We just talked about it.
If they're bringing back King of the Hill, then maybe we'll talk some more. But
yeah. I mean, that
was the best thing that came from that.
Beavis and Butthead Do America was a fantastic movie. I paid my $7 to see it when it came out in theaters.
King of the Hill was the best thing that came from it.
I agree with that. I just think the Beavis and Butthead premise does not fit in today's comedy.
Well, that's why they're also saying a spinoff as well.
Yeah, give me Get Lamb with Yo-Yo. Give me King of the Hill. If you want me to give a show that should be a revive, it should be King of the Hill.
Yeah.
So,
well, we'll see. I think.
Damn it, Bobby.
Well, it's been a long day. I'll let you guys go.
Sorry, I just started thinking of John Redcorn. My people celebrated Thanksgiving once.
Yep. Just once. Got some propane accessories. I might watch that tonight. I think it's on Hulu.
Yeah.
God.
A lot of new stuff on Plex.
I can't. It's like now. Well, I made a joke being like, it's like me walking through a Blockbuster looking through Plex, which I've always like. I think the next thing you need to do, Leo, is like, because you have all the free time in the world, I can tell.
Oh, yeah.
You got to get like a VR thing so you can walk through the aisles of all the stuff, and so you can like just click on it. And, like,
No, I need to spend time on collections because that's where it's at.
I'm surprised you haven't done a Bill Murray collection yet.
I added a bunch of stuff. I was gonna do that. Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Chevy Chase.
You already did Chevy Chase, I thought.
No, I did.
I know you mentioned Chevy Chase.
Robin Williams and Steve Martin. Yeah.
Yeah, you could do. Yeah, I would do Bill Murray. I would do Dan Aykroyd. I would do Chevy Chase. Yes.
I started adding a bunch of Chevy Chase movies. That's why.
Okay. Well, the good thing about it is that Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray all kind of like interact with each other. So.
Yes, my workouts I just added. Oh my god!
Did you do your John Hughes yet?
No, I need to do John Hughes.
I think you have a big chunk of them already on there. Like
it's just about making them into a collection.
Well, you got to do the written by John Hughes and directed by John Hughes are two separate.
I'll just lump it all into one.
That's what I mean. You got to be looking out for both of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. So collections, it's because I'm.
You got Spielberg?
What's that?
You did Spielberg yet?
No.
I think you have a big chunk of that though.
Oh yeah, yeah. I got a big chunk of a lot of movies anyway. So it being OCD, I need to find the right cover for the collection, and then all the movies within that collection, I need to make sure they all match. So yeah.
No, me and Jen started watching Watchmen this past weekend. So
the show or the movie?
The show.
The show.
Yeah, the show.
So Jen goes,
I like that opening scene.
Yeah. One of the things that I listen to sports radio, and one of the guys always say is 2020 every day is worse than the last. And watching that, I was just like, bring the comet, bring the meteor, just like we just don't deserve anything. Seeing shit like that.
Yeah, the sad part, like so many people didn't realize that that's actually what happened.
Yeah, no, and that's why like people, it was just and so like the one thing that I've noticed, and Jen can attest to this, is ever since I had Harrison, scenes involving like babies, like I get like unbelievably uncomfortable around. So like that whole scene where you just find her in the middle of the field, and I'm like, what happened? Like, what's going on? Or for me, it was in Halloween, the Halloween sequel that came out a couple years ago. That whole scene where Michael Myers, you have a baby crying after he just killed whoever, and I'm like, what is he gonna do right now? Like, I kind of was like crawling out of my skin, being like, what's happening here? And like nothing happened. Like I was like, thank God. But I was kind of like I just get like my skin crawls now, and I just I'm just not a fan.
Oh, I can imagine.
You're probably also thinking if he does anything, I'm gonna jump through this goddamn screen and kill him.
Oh, it's one of those things where like now I see Harrison. Like I see Harrison in that spot now, which is just like. And
so again, your first thought is I'm gonna jump through that screen, like because I'm thinking about mine. I'm gonna jump through that screen and kill this person.
Well, it was interesting because even during Horizon Zero Dawn, that opening scene with the baby, I sat there being like, "Oh, it's like beautiful," and I'm like, "What the hell's going on?" And then the baby starts crying. I'm like, "Well, I'm gonna fight somebody." Like, why? Like kind of that mentality, being like, "What's going on?" So
that's a good sign.
Oh yeah, no,
that's a great thing that you're.
I've lost many a night sleeping from just like concerned about Harrison and making sure Harrison's okay and what's going to happen to Harrison if something happens. I've lost hours of sleep, like so. Being a parent sucks some days.
Ladies and gentlemen, amazing dad.
Like so. Like that's what I've been saying for the last 4 or 5 months. I said I care about 5 people right now. That's all I control. That's what I care about. That's who I'm going to protect. 5 people. So 2 cats. So,
but they're cats. So I mean,
well, one's an asshole and one's fat. So, but, so no, it's just it's being a parent, and like I never thought I'd be in these shoes, because I remember 2-3 years ago watching stuff like that, and it didn't faze me. It didn't really do anything for me, and now it's just like a switch goes off, and you're just like, okay, this is what's happening. So, but now, like I said, I bought all the Kenner toys for Ghostbusters.
I saw that.
I got 2 sets. No, one's actually with my buddy Ryan, because we were down in Rhode Island at the Walmart in Westerly. So, Leah, if you want to take a drive to Westerly, that's where I found
that far. Megan's parents live near there.
So they had a ton left when that was like 2 weekends ago, but like they had a ton there. That's where I bought them, because I always like, I'll just walk into Walmart, and the Walmart's up here, so hit or miss. So I was like, we had to go get some. I think I had to buy a bathing suit, because I forgot my bathing suit, and Jen we had to get some like just one-off things that we just forgot. We just didn't forget, or we just had to get some additional stuff. And I was like, for shits and giggles, I'm gonna walk down the toy aisle and see. And I was like, boop, 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 all 3 lined up, and I was like,
they're in my cart now.
Yeah, right there, $64 later. But like, me and Joe were talking about it, because we were going to buy all the Playmobil Ghostbuster stuff and this, and we're just going to put it aside, and we're going to put it in the closet, and those are going to be Christmas presents and birthday presents down the road when he gets a little older. So because God forbid, like that stuff's still around if I need to find it in like 6 months. So
yeah. Well, you also got to fight scalpers and stuff like that. So
yeah, that's what like I'm not a fan of. It's like I've run into people like some guy said something to me when he saw two sets, and there's like, oh, you're going to sell it. I'm like, no, I'm going to give this to my son in a year and a half. And then these are going to my buddy who's going to give these to his son. Yeah. But we just can't find them anywhere. So if I find them, I'm going to buy them, because I'm not going to pass it up. So
yeah. Should have just opened one right there. Like, nope.
From like me, the mint condition crap, I don't care. Like all my pops are open. Even some of the rare pops I have, they're all open. They've all, because they look better.
I bought them for you, not to like.
Do you know? So you guys remember at the wedding? Some of those pops that are on a wedding were exclusive pops.
Yeah.
For like, and there were rare pops to find. We just found them. We thought they were cool. Not including some we had to open the box and then physically glue them to some of those stands. And we had people being like, "What the hell? Like, what are you doing?" Like, yeah, right there. Yep. But like, I'm just like, guys, like
freaking Skeletor at our table. Oh my god.
Yeah, like, does it really matter? Like, we just lived with FYE, and it was like that one. Like, it doesn't really matter. Like, come on. Or ThinkGeek, when it was like buy 2 get 1 free or whatever those deals are. So. But no, so
yeah. Well, we'll wrap things up so you guys can.
Are you going to get the Back to the Future clock tower yet, or no?
No, I bought way too many Funkos. I need to stop.
Well, I'm starting to get the little towns.
Yeah.
So I have the Firehouse. I have Dante's Inferno strip club, and I'm going to get the clock tower with Doc Brown.
I have the Slimer, the was it the dining room where they're capturing Slimer?
Yeah, I have that. I have all of them from that run except a couple of like the ultra rare ones.
Yeah. I also put up the Jaws setup there as well.
Yeah, I like that that thing you shared. I kind of sent to my buddy's Jaws. He's like, I really wanted to save money, but now I'm not. So, but yeah, no, I'm just not rambling. So
no, that's fine. Well, we'll kick it off. Yo, where do you like people following you?
Boy Meets Phone on Instagram, Twitter. If you use Twitter, I don't ever use Twitter, so it means kind of pointless to put me on Twitter. But Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Yo St. Laurent, same social media channels. Then of course here, okay. James.
You can find me on the tweets and the Instagram at LongTimeStorm. I really don't tweet. I really don't publish anything on Instagram. I do a lot of sharing, liking, and like retweeting, resharing stuff. So you can check me out here on the Dorkening show every Wednesday evening. Also, you can find me and my wife's podcast, the Jen and James Podcast Experience. We have to get our asses in gear and start recording more episodes. It's just been tough. And then also, I'll be doing a new show with my brother-in-law, Jay, called It's Go Time with Jay and James. And that's getting up and running. So check that out in the near future. That's something I need to talk to Leo about sooner than later, probably after the show. But check them out. That is one of those episodes should be dropping sooner than later.
Sounds good. Yeah, just we'll chat about it. We'll get you loaded in the account so you can start uploading episodes. But for me, just Google Leo Pond. You'll find a bunch of stuff. Could be true, could be not. But more importantly, head on over to thedorkening.com where you can find all the shows on the network. And I got links in the show notes and stuff like that. A lot of cool stuff. But more importantly, follow these awesome people. We'll catch you guys later. Bye.
Happy 4th of July. Be safe. Wear a mask.
Don't blow your fingers off.